What I miss and what I don't. There's something interesting that really happens when you retire. And there's a lot of people ask me the same question. Do I miss it? And the honest answer is, yeah, some of it I do. And some of it, well, really I don't. Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome back to our channel. Today I want to take just a moment to talk about what I miss and what I don't. And now that I'm into 2.5 months-ish into retirement, what is it, Tim, that you miss? What is it that you don't? Because it's not as simple as a lot of people think it is. So let's talk about, begin off with, what I miss. There are definitely things that I genuinely miss. And first off is the people that I worked with. I've got to give huge kudos to my team that I had, that I worked with, because, it was, you didn't have to tell people what to do. People knew their job. People genuinely knew their job, what needed to be done, the things that needed to take place. And that was the great part about it. I had a great team. And that's probably the biggest thing that I miss. The daily conversations, the small talk, the inside jokes that we had, going out to lunch together, just being around people who understood the job without having to explain it. That was great within itself. There's a huge comfort in that alone. You were all on the same mission, if you will, the same mission, the same routine. And that doesn't disappear overnight. Not when you have so many years working with such great people. And, I also miss the feeling of being needed, if you will. For a long time, people depended on you. And they expected you to show up. They expected you to be sharp, to be ready to do the job. And there's a real sense of purpose in just knowing that what you did that day mattered. Man, it mattered to a lot of people. That you contributed to something that was, really a lot bigger than yourself. And I missed the structure. Having a reason really to get up early. Having somewhere to be at a particular time. Having that, I guess you would say, that rhythm of the day. For most of my life, my days had a framework that I reacted to each and every day. And it's really, really a huge adjustment when you just stop. So, Tim, what are some things that you don't miss? What are some things that I don't miss? But there, that's the other side of the coin. And there are some things that I don't miss. And I don't miss the constant pressure of each and every day. And it's funny because, when you're in it, you don't even realize how much pressure, that you're carrying each and every day. You don't even realize it. You just do it. It becomes the normal. And once it's gone, you notice the difference in it right away. I don't miss the mental weight of being there each and every day, always, thinking ahead, always running scenarios in your head, always carrying that responsibility. Where do I need to be when at different times throughout the day? My job as a safety coordinator for so many years, and don't get me wrong, I loved my job. I really enjoyed it. Like I said earlier, I love the structure of it and what takes place. But that's a huge responsibility that a lot of people don't realize, that what we did each and every day, running those scenarios through our head, trying to make sure that we're staying on top of everything. And even when you're off the clock and you're at home, there's some things that you constantly know in the back of your head, in your mind, whether it was a water main break, whether it was what they call an SSO, a sewer backup, that I've got guys out there that's working in the cold temperatures, in freezing temperatures, in the middle of the night, got roads shut down, lots of traffic, or might be in the middle of the day. So you don't get away from that. But right now, I don't miss that urgency. Everything used to feel urgent. Everything did. Everything felt like it needed attention right now. And that's one thing that I don't miss. Now, things can wait. And honestly, that's been one of the best parts. And maybe it's the biggest surprise of it all, really. I don't miss living on someone else's clock. I don't want to go back to living on someone else's clock. So these days are, let's just say the mornings are a little slower. I get up, have my coffee, ease into the day. I'm not being rushed, so there's no rush, and I'm not watching the clock. I'm surprised myself sometimes how much I have slept in and then get up. And I've noticed something else too. My mind is quieter. There's less noise, if you will. And that's when you start to realize something very important. Retirement isn't really about escaping work. It's about rediscovering your own self without the noise. Because when you work for decades, the job becomes part of your identity. Not just what you do, but who you are. And that makes a difference. Your schedule, your habits, your priorities. And then one day it just all stops. And at first it feels a little strange, like something's missing. Not because you regret it, not at all because you regret it, but because the noise itself is gone. But after a while, something else starts to happen. You start to hear yourself again. You notice what you actually enjoy. You start to pick up on those things a little more. You do this because you want to do them, not because you have to do them. And what I'm learning 2.5 months-ish into this, is that you don't lose yourself when you retire. Yes, you lose the pressure. Yes, you lose the urgency. Yes, you lose the constant demand that we talked about. But what stays is you. Not the title, not the role of whatever it was that you have. For me, like I said, it was being that safety coordinator for a municipality. It's just you. And after all these years, that's actually been one of the best parts. Getting to know that person again. And honestly, I'm looking forward to seeing where this whole thing goes. So, again, this has been Tim, and welcome back to our channel. And we thank you for joining us. Take care.